May I now invite Dr. Amol Hartalkar, Dr. Shilpa Sue on stage to share the session.
Diabetes forms a major chunk of our practice, and it is a mighty challenging task. It is not just managing sugars, it also includes screening, prevention, and management of its dreaded complications. So this session is going to give us more insights regarding this aspect. I invite Dr. Unnikrishnan to speak about complication screening program in a diabetes clinic.
Thank you, Dr. Sule. Thank you, Dr. Amol Hartalkar. It's a pleasure to be here again, and thank you all for coming. And again, once again, apologizing for the lack of space in some of the halls, because we have two halls, and there's no way to divide it into exact two halves. The number of people in both the halls is the same, but this hall seems to be quite overcrowded. But thank you again once again for coming. If there have been any difficulties that you faced for food, etc., I want to apologize for it. So I'm just going to introduce this topic. My idea is that we give you a glimpse of how we are working in the Chalaram Diabetes Hospital. Now, many people ask me, Unni, you're going to give away all your secrets. Then what are you going to do? Everybody will learn how to manage diabetes, and what will you do? So I tell them, okay, that's good if everybody, first of all, there are 76 million people with diabetes. And the number is growing. So we need more people, we need more diabetes clinics, we want more clinics to work better. I don't think I'm going to solve diabetes, or I don't think anybody is going to solve diabetes in their lifetime right now to find a cure. But if somebody does find a cure for diabetes and solves it, and everybody gets treated with HbA1c of 6.5 or something, then we can always look for some other disease to sort out. So that's my answer to that. So thank you once again for coming. We know that diabetes has so many vascular complications. So, it causes microvascular complications, it causes macrovascular complications. Among the macro, you have coronary artery disease, stroke, peripheral vascular disease. The microvascular, you just heard lectures on how you could have new diabetes medicines which could target the heart, protect the kidney, and we know that retinopathy and neuropathy are also complications. But translating guidelines into practice for benefiting our patients is not an easy task. And I'm going to look at what are the practical difficulties in screening patients, and what are the guidelines to screen for complications. And that's for macrovascular disease. So what are the practical? I think it's very important that people with diabetes undergo, for example, a retinal checkup. You have a patient coming and telling you, "Ha sir, mera to maine aankh check kar diya, mera chashma theek hai." But that's not the retina. So you have to sit and explain to them that, no, you have to do a retinal examination, a dilated fundus examination every year. Then you have inconvenience of coming to a hospital and the cost of testing, which we have to admit that in India, cost is a very important factor. Then patients are worried about a new disease label that, okay, earlier they used to think of a disease called pre-diabetes. Now we know pre-diabetes we should not start labeling people with pre-diabetes except for education. Because if you start labeling people as pre-diabetes, somebody may say, oh, he's got pre-diabetes, I should not give him a job. Or somebody says, oh, he or she has got pre-diabetes, so maybe marriage becomes a problem. So you're creating labels unnecessarily with disease. So our goal is not to create disease or create stigma. In fact, our role is to do the other, to remove the disease label and to remove the stigma of a disease. And of course, we are all busy doctors, busy patients we have to see, and how do we manage this? So to convince a patient, what we do, this is Dr. Manish Botle. He is now convincing patients very well in Chandrapur. He moved on to Chandrapur as a consultant, but he worked with us for 3 years, and he's trained himself into a superb diabetologist now. So what we do is we design a small PowerPoint presentation, which we give to the patients who come for the first time, especially the younger doctors. Doctors like the senior doctors like us, we can easily tell the patients diabetes causes this and that. And this is Dr. Vedvati Purandare. She's our senior most diabetologist. She literally draws this, and she tells the patient all these things and how diabetes affects, how it affects how high blood glucose, what is the effect of food, the role of the liver, diabetic complications, and the effect on the eyes, kidney, heart, and feet. And this is what we do. As I said, this is not rocket science. This is just a lecture this is just a talk to share with you how our form of functioning is. So when we have a consultation note for the first time, it's the other way to tell the patient what to do, that what they have to do for their own health, is to write it down. So if the patient knows English, we write it down in English. Sometimes patient knows Marathi or Hindi, so we write it down in Marathi or Hindi. So important thing is that we tell them when to do the HbA1c test. We write and give them when they should do their kidney, liver, when they should do the retina, when they should do the foot, when they should do the cardiology assessment, when they should do the BP, which is to be done every doctor visit. So it's important to tell them that write and give it to them, because if you just tell them, you have few minutes, they may forget. Now, many people don't read what we give them, but still it is our duty to write and give it to them. And even if they don't read it immediately, or even if 2 out of 100 people actually read it, it will benefit them. So then the second thing is the inconvenience and costs of the screening test. So diabetes checkup has to be kept low cost. So we have designed several types of packages. So we have a package which is, for example, we have something called Express Diabetes Package. It is designed for people who can't come fasting, who can finish the package in 3 hours and go. So they have very basic tests, and we have low cost packages for that patient, so that at least the basic things can be done, and which always we make sure that all our packages include diet, because diet and exercise is the cornerstone for diabetes management, and we have just a set of basic tests that they do. You will notice we don't have microalbuminuria in that, we don't have blood urea in that. So we design just looked at all the basic tests. We even have a package which just a focused LFT. So then we have for the people who can spend a day, and there are many people who come to us once a year. They come at 8:30 in the morning, finish all the tests and go back at 5:30. They come from all over India actually. They come in the morning. Sometimes they stay in a hotel nearby, come in the morning, 8 o'clock, do the entire workup and go. I think they find it useful because at least we are able to screen their entire situation. So we do the ultrasound, we do the diet, we do the physiotherapy, we show the ophthalmologist, we do the podiatry, so we do all the tests. Some of these tests are really not required, like vitamin B12 and vitamin D, but sometimes it is to be done because metformin patients may have B12 deficiency, and these patients come once a year, so we don't want to miss anything. Second thing is about a disease label, how we can target a disease label. I think patient education is the only way, and this is one of the goals of the Chalaram Hospital. And as you know, we have this Diabetes Health magazine. This magazine is not for doctors of our hospital, or we are not promoting our hospital with this magazine. In fact, we have writers from all over India and abroad who contribute patient education articles. And feel free, if any of you would like to contribute articles, we can publish them for you. If anybody would like to be interviewed for this, you just have to write to us. We are looking for people who are willing to help us. And this magazine actually has articles from all over India, and the goal is only education. So this is what we do. And of course, sometimes the patient comes to see the hospital. As soon as they come, we have the dialysis unit if they see, or they see the podiatry department, and they see the patients waiting for diabetic foot outside. I know fear is also a factor, but at the same time, we have to reassure them. The one thing, if they see that, they know that diabetes has to be treated. But at the same time, we have to reassure them that if blood sugar is controlled, if BP is controlled, if cholesterol is controlled, they are like anybody else. And what about busy consultation and busy patients? So how will patients remember how to come on time? Now, there are many apps available, reminder, SMS, phone call. But how many of our patients are able to use apps? Type 1 diabetes, yes. Type 2 diabetes, do you think a 75-year-old type 2 diabetes brought by her son or daughter to OPD is going to sit and use an app and see when they have to come? They may not. So there are people for apps, there are people without apps. So we have both options. So this is what is designed by one of our doctors, Dr. Vedvati. What she's done is that she has written down the time since last visit, her assessment of the patient's diet instructions following, regular exercise, medicine compliance, monitoring, and she also notes down when the last testing was done. This is just for our own purpose. We will not tell the patient that nahi aapne kiya, but we have to know whether we are actually doing these tests on time. So she has included these things into her presentation, into this. This presentation is largely made by her. So I just want to acknowledge her contribution. Then to screen complications, what are the recent guidelines to screen for micro and macrovascular complication? So this is for diabetic retinopathy. We know that there are a lot of tests available, and we have the fundus camera, and we have a retinal unit, and we have a cataract surgery, everything we have in the hospital. So you are aware of this. Now, should you use the artificial intelligence for retinopathy diagnosis, you should be very careful. So it's very good to use. It cannot replace an ophthalmologist assessed dilated fundus examination. AI will come today, AI will come tomorrow also. Wait for the right product to come. Not that you should not use AI. If you don't have a choice, you please use AI to diagnose retinopathy because it may detect referring the patient to the other ophthalmologist. But at the same time, if your patient can actually have a dilated fundus examination done, then you should make sure the patient is. This is only for resource constrained settings, some settings where you don't have an ophthalmologist, where you don't have a dilated fundus photography setting, then you can use AI for diagnosis of retinopathy. So I wrote about AI in an editorial in just 2 months back. If you Google artificial intelligence, you'll find that editorial. So AI is very good to detect retinopathy, but it needs to be more refined. But at present, it's a good screening tool. So use it carefully. I'm not saying don't use it, but use it carefully. So it's best to do a dilated and comprehensive eye examination by ophthalmologist because if you yourself do a fundus examination, you will miss the periphery of the eye. You know, the peripheral part may not be seen properly. And when to screen, we screen all subjects with type 1 diabetes within 5 years of onset of diabetes and annually after puberty, and type 2 diabetes at diagnosis. And of course, mydriatic cameras are better. But in our outreach program, as many of you know, we have a mobile diabetes clinic which goes to the villages. And there we don't have, we use a non-mydriatic fundus camera, and the images are sent to our hospital, and every weekend the ophthalmologist reads it and gives a report. So we don't use cloud for that. We use a simple USB drive for that because we did not find the need for cloud for that because our mobile clinic comes back to the hospital every Saturday. So our ophthalmologist is able to do that. So we have 3 mobile clinics all fitted with non-mydriatic fundus camera. There we don't want to take a chance of putting drops into the eye because we can't control the situation in the village. So there we do a non-mydriatic assessment. So depending on the retinopathy, patients are called more frequently, and then you have diabetic kidney disease. I mean, you know all about it, so I'll just rush through the urine albumin creatinine ratio. This is what we are doing in our hospital. We always calculate the EGFR. You tell the pathologist in your lab to calculate EGFR. You saw the presentation on SGLT2 recently, just by the previous speakers. EGFR is becoming very important. Even for metformin, use of metformin below EGFR of 45 is coming in. Though below 30, you should not use metformin, new prescription. Above 30 to 45, you can still continue metformin. So not just for SGLT2, EGFR is becoming very important, do that. And you can also calculate EGFR on your own using all these apps. But I think you should tell the labs to actually do EGFR and give you the EGFR. It's not very difficult. I'm sure many of the diabetes centers are already doing that. This is just a case of a patient coming and how we do the retinal assessment, the foot assessment, we do the fundus photocoagulation, and I think it's important to translate guidelines into practice, and we will need to screen for complications. Screening for CAD is not routinely recommended, but we do screen people with atypical symptoms, and we refer all such patients to the cardiologist. And though we have a cardiac cath lab in our hospital, I think most of the cath lab cases are coming as an acute cases from the emergency rather than diabetic patients who have detected to have coronary artery disease using a stress test. And most of the diabetics we find are having triple vessel disease. And therefore, many patients are actually requiring CABG because the disease is bilateral, multi-segmental coronary artery disease, more distal disease. But still, I think screening, especially atypical symptoms, you have to do assessment and refer to a cardiologist. So the take-home message is that we need to do better for our patients using whatever resources we have at our disposal. Not every hospital, for example, our hospital may have cath lab, dialysis unit, podiatry, but you need not have all that to have a good diabetes center. That's why we do this conference, so that we can translate this. I think even with a basic clinic, with a stethoscope, with our knee hammer, and with a tuning fork, you can diagnose, and with a good assessment of retinopathy, either AI or ophthalmology, you can actually do most of the things yourself. We must look at regular monitoring, telling our patients to do regular exercise. Another thing which we've realized is that the last 2 years, there is a tremendous interest in diet. About 5 years back, I could remember patients coming and telling me, Doctor साहब मुझे तो मीठा खाना है, आप मुझे दवाई लिख के दे दो. Today patients are coming, Doctor साहब मुझे दवाई बंद कर दो, मैं diet करने के लिए तैयार हूँ. I will follow diet. So this is a very good sign. And using this, we must harness our own doctor's dietary knowledge and start prescribing diets. Because even if you have a nutritionist, patient will still listen to the doctor. So I always prescribe a diet to my patient. Then I tell them, you are going to meet the nutritionist. If the nutritionist says something and I am saying something else, please follow the nutritionist, because they are the experts at the matter. But still, they want to hear it from us. And of course, you need to screen for complications. Build a team, because teamwork makes your dream work. Thanks to Dr. Vedvati Purandare and the rest of the Chilaram Diabetes Institute team for helping me, and she compiled this presentation. It's a pleasure talking to you. I have 30 seconds more, but I think we have a discussion at the end. So thank you once again for coming to the conference and for listening to me. It's a pleasure being here.